I'm just going to return the recording to active so that I don't forget to do that, because otherwise it'll be something I do. And it's my great pleasure to welcome all of you here. Some of you I know are not necessarily actively working with early childhood or even year ones, but I know that you will take something away from this evening that will be amazing for the work that you do with your students, maybe with your own children or grandchildren, or maybe you just needed a bit of an injection of a musical community to be part of. The meeting this evening is being recorded, so if you're uncomfortable with that, you're welcome to have your cameras off, but it's fantastic to see so many cameras on. So if you are comfortable with that, it would be lovely to continue to see your smiling faces. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Lucinda.
Thank you very much, Megan. What actually is the time difference at the moment? Is it 12 hours? It's 8 o'clock here now.
So 11 hours.
11 hours.
So it's 7
Okay.
p.m. or just after 7 p.m.
Okay, so it's a nice evening activity for you, and it's a first thing in the morning activity, and the birds are singing, and the sun is shining. In Scotland, that's a bit of a miracle, but the sun is shining. So delighted to be here, and thank you, Megan and Menza, for the invitation to come.
You muted
Thank you, Megan.
yourself,
Sorry, did
Lucinda.
I mute myself? You did. Okay. That's what my husband wishes he could do all the time. Mute. The power you have, Megan. Okay, so every session that's under the name of Code I, or in fact early childhood, should start with singing, shouldn't it? I think. So I sing, you immediately be my echo. Hello to you. Are you feeling fine? Are you doing okay? Hello to you. That's the bit you echo. And then the next bit, you just listen. Yeah? Put a smile upon your face and sing along with me. Hello to you. Are you feeling fine? Are you doing okay? Hello to you. Oh, the Zoom seasickness never goes away, does it? I'm singing and it looks like you're singing at the same time as me, but I know there's a time lag and all of that thing. Zoom seasickness is here to stay. The person who solves it will be a millionaire. Thank you for joining in and singing along a hello song with me. They're always good to start any early years sessions, aren't they? A hello song. Yeah? Hello, we're here, we're singing. It kind of establishes that boundary that children really rely on, I think, boundaries. So do that. If you're a visitor to a session, do start with a hello song. If you're not a visitor, don't suddenly sing hello when you start the music session. Although this particular one you could, because we're talking about putting a smile upon our face and singing along with me. So it's an invitation to sing. The song will be on the slides. Megan, I'm assuming it's okay. I can send you the PDF of all the slides afterwards and you can forward it out. Yeah, so don't worry about any of the material I do tonight. It will be sent to you. You will get it all. So here is what I read on the Bright Horizons website. And it did my heart good to read. I'm just letting you read that. I'm sure you all agree. Hopefully you can see it all okay. Nothing new there. We all agree with all of that, don't we? We all agree with that and we know the power of music, and yet music is the thing that continues to be cut and have less money funded, and yet we know the benefits of it. Tonight, I don't want to look so much at the knock-on effects of music. I want more to look at the musical skills that we should develop in this early years stage. What are the key foundations that we should develop? and I'll just keep chat on in the background. I'll try to keep an eye on it. If anybody has a question that's kind of pertinent to what I'm saying at the time, then I'll try and look at that question in chat. Or Megan, if I miss it, feel free to unmute and shout at me. Yeah, no problem at all. So here's where we get the foundations, isn't it? Here's where the solid foundations of musical skills start. Never let anyone tell you in early childhood music education, oh, it's lovely just to sing some songs with children. Yes, it is lovely just to sing some songs with children, isn't it? But we know we're developing foundations of musical skill. And if foundations are strong, what can happen when children then go to school? For me, everything in the early years, and I'm thinking early years is kind of baby up to 6. Tonight I'm focusing more on the 3, 4, 5-year-old kind of age. But for me, it's that stage up to 6. And at this stage, for me, everything is experiential. Children need to experience the skills rather than be made conscious of the skills, because they're intellectually experiencing life. Why would we get children to read music age 3 when they're not really reading age 3, and cognitively that's just not ready? So everything's experiential. We'll talk about that as we go. Here's the most important fundamental thing we can do with children. Keep a steady beat. Would we all agree that without a steady beat, as a musician, you're kind of up the creek, aren't you? Is it easy to keep a steady beat? It's really not. There's two things: keep a beat and keep it steady. And people tend to think we can all keep a beat. But can we keep it steady? Even as adults, we'll tend to get faster, won't we, when we're keeping a steady beat. So this is the first kind of building block, for want of a better word, the first foundation that I would lay. Please don't think I'm going through the skills in order. Please don't think what I'm saying is when you're teaching, do nothing but steady beat, then do nothing but this, then do nothing but that. That's not what I mean. I'm just going through them in order, but when you're planning, you would incorporate different skills. So beat has to be through movement. Can we intellectualize beat? Can we explain to children what a beat is unless we move? I'm hoping you're all going, no, we can't. I'm hoping you are. In order to feel beat, we have to move. And I have to tell you, when I was a child at school, which is probably why I've become a bit of a rebel and I move all the time, I wasn't allowed to move. We had to sit still and sing. That was the word: sit still, sit still, sit still, continually. Almost ruler down the back thing. What a stupid thing to do. You know, there's so many people in life, in my life, and from what I hear other people say as well, oh, my music teacher told me I couldn't sing, so I don't sing anymore. I want to line all these people up and bop them on the head, because what damage have they all done? Yeah, let's line them up. Stupid thing to say to children: sit still. Number one, children can't sit still. Number two, in order to feel beat, we need to move. We fundamentally need to move. And that movement, to begin with, will be connected to another adult. That's where it starts, isn't it? Where does that connection to another adult start? Immediately after birth, doesn't it? In lullabies and all those things we do with the younger children. I'm not going to focus on that tonight, but that's where hopefully it starts. And I'm saying hopefully because there's no guarantee there. Not all children are rocked to sleep. Not all children are bounced on a knee. So we, when they come to nursery or when we're working with this age, have to help the children by being connected to us. That could be by being connected, just holding hands. We're holding hands in a circle. We're making arches that go up and down. That's literally what we're doing. And somebody's going in and out of the arches, of course, because everything has to be a game, doesn't it? I'm not seeing reactions. Everything has to be a game, doesn't it? Yeah, good. I'm seeing serious faces going, oh, does it really? Yeah, it does, definitely. If you're a child, you want it to be a game. So we're going up and down, over the hills and into town. If we're all doing this up and down thing, what's the game? Laura is the child who has to go in and out to go to town. Yeah? When does she go in? When the arches are up. When the arches are down, she can't barge through. Laura, are you ready to run in and out the arches? You got to put your pretend hat on here. Here we go, up and down and up and down, over the hills and into town. But there's a little trick. She has to be on the outside of the circle now by the end of that song. If she's captured in the middle of the circle, she's out. Can we put children out of a game? Oh, that's a terrible thing to do to children, isn't it? No, it's not. It's life. Yeah, and they have to get on with it. It's a rule. It's a discipline. Yeah? So, Laura, make sure you're on the outside of the circle by the end of the song. You ready to go? Off we go, up and down and up and down, over the hills and into town. You made it, Laura. Hooray, you're on the outside. Who are you going to follow? Who's going to be the new leader? Oh, well done. You've chosen Helen. I'm just choosing for you to save you all getting permission to unmute. Yeah? Well done, Laura. You chose Helen. So Laura is following Helen. Helen is now the new leader. Yeah? Off we go, up and down and up and down, over the hills and into town. Did you both make it out? Well done. Helen, who are you going to choose? You've chosen Susan. Now there's 3 of you going into town. But what's going to happen eventually? This line's getting longer and longer and longer. What's going to happen eventually? They're not all going to get out in time. Yeah? So we put our arches down and Laura is chopped off. Laura goes back to the circle. Can you imagine that game, even though we can't actually play it in a room? Yeah? You can imagine what's happening. So the game is try and get back at the circle, but the musical feeling is we're moving together to a steady beat, connected to another person. What about children who don't like physical contact? What I normally find is young children still do that thing. Oh, I don't want to touch somebody. Yeah, we don't want to do that. If they don't and there is an issue with physical contact, we can go up and just pretend we're holding hands here, but they know they're not allowed to go in when the arms are up. Or we can be connected by something like a co-opper band. You know what I mean by that, a scrunchy ring, yeah? Same thing, same game, but we're going up and down, not physically connected, but we're still connected by something physical. That's the big difference, yeah? Brilliant. Great game. Thank you for playing my game from where you are, Laura and Susan and Helen. Wish I could play it with you for real. But children, we all know children learn best just by copying, by imitation. We all know that, don't we? That's what they do in life. Just copy and imitate. Come on, everyone, come on, everyone, come on, everyone, wave with me. Can you wave to me? I'm going to go a bit faster this time. Come on, everyone, come on, everyone, come on, everyone, wave with me. What else could we do? We could sing with me. We could tap with me. We could blink with me. I love to see children blinking because they just can't do it when they're young and it's very funny to watch. So all of those things, up to us to be creative, isn't it? But who are the most creative often? The children. When we ask the children for an idea, they come up with the most creative things. Show me what we could do, Maria. Come on, everyone. Wave, clap, tap. You just show me an action. You don't have to say anything. Just show me. Oh, nod with me. Maria is nodding. Who's the person who has to translate it into language? The teacher. Yeah? The child just shows an action. The teacher has to put that into the song. So we're all going to take Maria's idea and we're all going to nod with Maria. Come on, everyone, come on, everyone, come on, everyone, nod with me. There's a teeny little trap here. Look at this thing at the end. How many times do I have to say to people when they're working with children, please don't forget that rest at the end is still a beat. The song hasn't stopped until after that beat. And some of them will say to me, but it has stopped. We've stopped singing. But it hasn't stopped. That rest, particularly when we're working on beat work, is an integral part of what we do. Why? Because what do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8 beats answered by 2, 4, 6, 8 beats. We don't want 2, 4, 6, 8 beats answered by 2, 4, 6, 7 beats. It lacks a musical balance then, yeah? Very, very easy when the song stops to just stop doing that final thing. And I always laugh and say, if children feel that it's okay to do 8 answered by 7, they're never going to be able to do circle dances very well. They'll go round for 8, back for 7, and it'll all feel weird. Yeah, we need to help them feel musical balance. Oh, there's Maria. Hello, Maria. Nice to see you. So, by imitation, we're not connected to anyone anymore. We're just literally by imitation. Don't forget that rhymes are a really important part of early childhood. Rule of thumb, the younger the child, the more the rhymes. And in the 3 to 4 year old, I would kind of balance 50% rhyme, 50% song. Rhymes have a really important part to play in beat keeping work and in helping children differentiate the singing voice, the speaking voice. Yeah. So don't forget rhymes. Does anyone know this? Just give me a wave if you know this rhyme. I went up the apple tree. Oh, hooray, because I've changed the last line. So the last line in the original verse is, did you ever tell a lie? And I've had so many complaints about, we shouldn't be encouraging children to tell a lie. It's not a very nice thing to do. I've changed the last line. Did you ever play I Spy? And then it gives us a reason then to do a new game with the well-known rhyme. So are we ready to climb up the apple tree? I went up the apple tree. All the apples fell on me. Apple pudding, apple pie. Did you ever play I Spy? Have you played I Spy before, children? I spy a fruit. You've got to imagine what the fruit is. I'm going to tell you what the fruit is. It is yellow. It's kind of like a curvy shape. And when it's ripe, it sometimes gets little black spots on it. Monkeys love this fruit. Go on, somebody, tell me what it is. Just mouth it. I'm quite good at lip reading. Yes, it's a banana. Fantastic. So now we're going, I went up the banana tree and all the bananas fell on me. And we're making banana pie. Yeah, so we're changing the text of the rhyme. Yeah, here we go. I went up the banana tree. All the bananas fell on me. Banana pudding, banana pie. Did you ever play I Spy? And then a child can take a turn at describing a fruit. I spy a fruit that is, and give us the instructions for the fruit. Can we guess what it is? Put it into the rhyme. I don't know if you have come across, those of you who know me know that I have a passion for children's picture books. And I know Megan does as well, because we spent an hour in a bookshop, Megan, at least. One of my favourite passions, because children love picture books. I don't know if you've come across it's a very old book now, but it's still a favourite, and it's still a favourite for a reason. Handa's Surprise. Just stop sharing that for a moment. Have you seen this book? Nope. Some have, some haven't. I'll give you a very brief summary. I won't do the whole thing. Megan, I should have tried this earlier. If I flip my camera, didn't check. You might be seeing my messy desk. Yes, you are. There we are. Can you see that now? Not going to read you the whole story, but basically Handa is collecting some fruit. She has 7 delicious fruits in a basket for her friend Akio. And as she goes to the village to take the basket of fruit to Akio, the animals steal, one by one, steal the fruit. Will she like the soft yellow banana? But who stole the banana? And the children will answer, Monkey stole the banana. Or will she like the sweet smelling guava? But who stole the guava? Do you get the idea? So one by one the fruit's being stolen by an animal. And then at the end, when there's nothing left in the basket, look what happens. An antelope comes crashing into a tree and knocks all the tangerines into a basket. So when she gets to the village to surprise her friend, who's the one who gets the biggest surprise? She is. How did all those tangerines get there? So sometimes I centre an activity like we've just done there around a book. I spy with my little eye something that looks like, it's spiky. It's got green tufty thing at the top. Sometimes you serve it in rings. Can the children find the vocabulary to explain in the I Spy? But we've given them a kind of starter for 10, as it were. So linking with a picture book's a nice idea. Just flip my camera back over there. But the main activity, of course, beat keeping. Yeah, we're looking at going up that apple tree. And what's the cause for repetition? We're changing the fruit. We're making it a game. Children will happily repeat things if it's a game. Will they happily repeat things if we just say, let's say the rhyme? Let's say the rhyme again. Why don't we say the rhyme again? Well, that's a bit boring. Make it a game. There's a purpose, there's a reason to repeat. Because we all know children learn best by repetition. Yeah, repetition is the mother of all learning. So there's that little book there. To begin with, it's much easier to keep a beat in those ways that we've described, but then when we start walking, just allow the children to walk anywhere, because walking in a formation is quite difficult. Allow them to walk a beat anywhere. Pick up the tempo of the children is a nice idea. What's the natural tempo? So I would say to the children, go for a walk. Where will we go? Maybe we're going to the park. Let's go for a walk. And just pick up. How are the children walking? Pick up on one or two of them. The tempo. Maria's in a hurry today. She desperately wants to get to the park. She's going quite fast. Yeah. And I'll say to the children, we're going to walk at Maria's tempo. Walk, walk, walk along together. Walk, walk, walk along and stop. And where do they stop on the final beat? Walk along and stop. Bam. Right there. So they've been told to stop. On the next beat, they actually freeze. So we still feel that beat that's at the end of the song. Pick up the tempo from another child and go at their tempo. Children actually have a very good sense of beat, but it's not always a beat that they can keep with other people. They have a very good sense of their own beat. Even when they're young babies, what do? They do that thing. When they can barely stand up, they're holding on and moving to a beat. They can do that thing innately, but keeping a beat as a community together, that's a different task, because I'm asking them to keep a beat that's not necessarily their own inner tempo. And it'll take a lot of practice, the walking. And their legs are very small, so they want to go faster anyway, don't they? They haven't got as long legs as us, or they're not as tired as us at the end of a day. They're full of energy, so tend to be a bit faster at that age. Here's another rhyme, a nice rhyme for gathering children up. So when we ask children, come and make a circle, oh my goodness, disaster, isn't it? They come, they don't know how to make a circle, it takes forever, and then they don't keep the circle anyway. So we can gather them up rather than asking them and giving them an instruction and leaving them to their own devices, make it part of a game. So here's a little rhyme. Stepping round the... It would only be me to begin with who's stepping round the rose bush. Stepping round the rose bush, big steps, little steps. All the little children are sitting on the doorsteps. Come and join behind me if you have long hair. All the children with long hair, come and join in behind my line. Yeah? So we're playing follow my leader. We're not holding on to the shoulders of the person in front, because that's disaster, isn't it? The longer the line becomes, they're desperately trying to hold on. What you can do though, with the stretchy elastic, they can gather on round the elastic. So we're holding it like a line, yeah? And then it divides into a circle. So as they gather up, they're behind me, holding onto the elastic. Stepping round the rose bush, big steps, little steps. All the little children are sitting on the doorsteps. Join the line if you are wearing glasses. Out come all the children wearing glasses. They join on, the line gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually you find you've got one little child and you think, oh goodness, that one child wasn't wearing glasses, had long hair, wearing blue, didn't have anything. Make it personal. Join the line if you are called Catherine. Catherine joins the line. But what have we done? We've kept the musicality going. We've used this rhyme as a transition from one activity to another. We're still practicing walking beat. They're all holding on to this big long scrunchie as a line. And then we can open it up and guess what? Bingo, it becomes a circle. Much faster, much more efficient, much more fun than telling them to come and make a circle and let them get on with it. And then what happens? You do that thing. Come and make a circle. Edith is the badly behaved child in the class. Sorry, Edith, I've got to pick on somebody. Edith's the badly behaved child in the class, and so is Maria. And the two of them are together again. They should never sit together. But those teachers who would say that to children, I don't like saying that to children. There's a negativity around that, isn't there? Maria and Edith, why are you together again? You know you're badly behaved. Will you separate? It's all negative, negative, negative. What am I going to do in this game? I'm going to for sure join the line if, and I'm going to choose something that Maria has that Edith doesn't. Immediately they're separated. Yeah? So we can use these little rhymes as kind of behaviour management as well, positive behaviour management, in a nice pleasant way that's all part of the music that we do. Okay, moving on. When we do make a circle, it takes a lot of practice, doesn't it, to stay in a circle. Walking in a circle is difficult for children. Here's another use for this ring here. This is one of the best resources I have to say. Really useful thing. Maria, do you mind if I tell them your wonderful idea? Maria has crocheted a whole ring. She crocheted round and round and round and round and round and round, and then put elastic all the way through and has made a crocheted ring. I'm so inspired by that, Maria. I'm going to make one too. So I would love to see it, but she sat for I don't know how long and crocheted and then put elastic through it.
I'll bring it with me to Tenterfield.
Woohoo! Yep, please do. Thank you, Maria. So we're in a ring. 3 children are in the middle of the ring. Who am I going to put in the middle of the ring? I'm going to put in, Catherine and Roshan and Kayleen. You're in the middle of my circle. What are you going to be doing? Do you want to dance in the middle of my circle? Do you want to clap? Do you want to tiptoe? You can choose. Oh, well done. Like all children, you've chosen jump. Yeah, funny that, isn't it? Children always want to jump. That's fine. You can be jumping round the cherry tree that's in the middle. Ring-a-ring-a-ree-ho, see the children three-ho, jumping round the cherry tree, all together, 1, 2, 3. So if we're holding, we can be just standing in place doing this. But when we start to walk, we can turn, hold the ring with one hand, and then walk forward. So we're not holding hands with another child, we're holding the ring. And we're all facing the same direction. Moving the ring, because when we're walking a steady beat, it's much better if our whole body's engaged in beat keeping. Not just our feet, like they're detached from the rest of us. Whole body engagement, yeah? On the end, 1, 2, 3, then Catherine and Roshan and Kayleen will come out of the ring. They'll choose 3 more people who go in the middle. So what do we have? We've got beat keeping here in the middle by action. They're jumping, they're tapping, they're waving, they're dancing, whatever they want to do. And we've got beat keeping here, walking, which is a really essential skill to learn, but make it child friendly by holding the ring and facing forward. I said I would keep an eye on chat, and Megan, I haven't been keeping an eye on chat. Megan, can I just make you the keep an eye on chat person to interrupt, and if there's any questions pertinent, just shout at me. Is that okay? Because, you know, once I get going, I just keep going and I forget to look at chat. Thank you, Megan. So for me, I never use the word beat until the children can actually do it. Because if they can't do it, what's the point in me giving it a name? So if we talk to really young children about we are keeping a steady beat, but physically they can't coordinate it, we're giving a name to something they can't do. So they think they're keeping a beat, but they're not. What do I say to children? Move with me, copy me, yeah? Move with the music, any of those things. But the intellectual naming of something, leave till the end. It's the good old code, I think. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Present when they can do, when they understand, yeah? That goes for young children and older children. We give it a name then, keeping a steady beat. And then we can talk about playing a beat on an instrument, because that's an external thing. When the children can feel the beat internally, they've got more chance of playing a beat on something externally. So instrumental work for beat keeping, I would leave until they can feel it and experience it in their whole body. Am I saying don't give a child an instrument until they can keep a beat? No, but don't expect them to keep a beat on it. Maybe they'll just use it to explore sounds. Maybe we'll just give them out instruments to have a nice time and play along. But if we're looking at them keeping a beat on it, wait until they can feel the beat internally first. Don't children learn from the inside outside, don't they? So they should feel it and experience it. Then comes the coordination of an instrument, yeah? When they can do that. And make sure the instrument's suitable for little hands. That would be my one plea. I continue to see in schools in Scotland those bright orange maracas. Maybe you have them there too. They're about, I don't know, they're about 6 inches, 7 inches, something like that. Absolutely fine for me to play. But think about it relatively. A tiny child playing something that's 6 or 7 inches, shaking that thing. It would be like us shaking something that's about a third the size of us. Now imagine yourself doing that, yeah? So it's all relative. What we give young children to play should be suitable for little fingers to actually manage, yeah? So here's a little game. It's a guessing game. You have to listen to what I'm playing. I'm going to be the first special person who gets to play. Then I'll choose somebody else. I wish you could just run into my house and play something now. Here's my game. I'm just stopping sharing so that you can see and hopefully hear what I'm playing. I wonder if anybody can guess what it is. Have a listen. I'm going to be playing it while I'm singing, so I hope you can hear it okay. Listen, listen here today. Someone Someone special gets to play. Did you hear something, Susan? Can you guess what it is? A maraca. Helen says it's a maraca. Well, it's very like a maraca, and you've got no way to know unless you see it. It looks like a pear, but it sounds like a maraca. It's a pear shaker, but it sounds just like a maraca. You are right. So I think, Helen, you can play the shaker, and I am going to play something else. Ooh, that's a bit hard. Helen's playing the shaker, and I'm playing something else. This is going to test my coordination skills to the limit now. Yep. What am I playing now? Well, Helen plays the shaker. Here we go. Listen, listen here today. Someone special gets to play. I'm stopping at 2 instruments, you'll be pleased to know, because I can't do 3. What did I play? Oh, they're still moving. It's really hard not to make them move. A tambourine. Did sound like it from where you are, but it's actually some bells. Of course, would I let the children see what I was hiding before I played it? Of course I would, yeah? I would say, hidden behind my screen, it's a little pear shaker, some bells, maybe a drum. They would all be there for the children to see until they know the instruments really, really well, yeah? Can they identify and change over, of course. Keys in a jar. Sounds like keys in a jar, Roshan. It sounded very like it, particularly on Zoom where it's hard to identify anything really. Okay, so we've done lots of work on beat. I wouldn't do rhythm until children can keep a beat. I would do beat first and then only after that work on rhythmic skills. Don't get the two confused. If we practice them side by side, the children will be confused. Yeah? Do beat, 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 beat. And then we can start doing rhythm the way the words go. That would be what I would talk to children about. Not keeping the rhythm, just talk to them about the way the words go. So for example, all the known material we have done will have a pile of songs and rhymes in the child's head. That's the ultimate important thing. And when we've put songs and rhymes in children's head, we can then use them to work on the rhythm from known material. So here's our little rhyme, I went up the apple tree. We can start to use that then for rhythm. So we could have two different puppets. Farmer Joe is brilliant at keeping a beat. But Robbie, I'm not sure he can keep a beat very well. So I would do the rhyme and I would let the children see Farmer Joe keeping a beat. Robbie, let's see what Robbie does. I'll just stop sharing that so you can see Robbie. I went up the apple tree. All the apples fell on me, etc. Was Robbie very good at keeping a beat, Helen? What do you think? He wasn't. And I want the children to be able to articulate why he wasn't so good. What was Robbie doing? They'll tell me he got it wrong. They'll tell me that he went too fast. What do I want them to tell me? He was doing the words. He was showing us the words. Sometimes it takes me to put Robbie right there beside my mouth. I went up the apple tree. Yeah, and then make the connection for the children, because if they get that, they've got it for life. Or put their hand there. I went up the apple tree. Every syllable you can feel here, can't you? Every syllable. And that's why, you know that thing where we do names, and we've talked about it often with some of you, when children sing, tap the rhythm of their name, and the name's got one syllable, because we sing it over to John, they think it's got 2 syllables. But how many does it have? John. when we sing, it only has one feel. So that feeling is important. John, one syllable. But the musical context of it makes it quite difficult to understand. So starting with rhymes that the children actually know well, because they're in their head and they're not going to get them wrong. That's the key thing. And then we can start to play around with rhythms and patterns that the children don't know so well. Do we know this picture book here? Orange, pear, apple, bear. Very simple book, really simple book. So simple, in fact, that when I first read it, I thought I don't like it because it's so boring. But actually, it's quite quirky. I'll just do a tiny bit, you'll get the idea. By Emily Gravitt, who's just fab. Orange, pear, apple, bear. Apple, pear, orange, bear. So there's a quirky little twist in the way the words are used. Orange, pear, apple, bear. That bear looks just like an apple, etc. Yeah? So we can then play around with what was in that little book. We had an orange, and we had a pear, and we had an apple, and we had a bear. There's what we had. Could you clap me the rhythm of all the things we had in the book? Off we go. Orange, pear, apple, bear. Ready, steady, off we go. Orange, bear, apple, pear. Ready, steady, off we go. Orange, apple, bear, pear. Get the idea? Yeah? So we haven't practiced those patterns. The idea has come from the book. So again, using picture books as a kind of kickstart for an idea, but then practicing rhythms by something the children see, but it's not a known rhyme in their head. Then we move to completely improvised rhythmic patterns from us. So maybe we're going to the zoo, maybe we're going to a park. We are creating little rhythm patterns for the children to echo back. Yeah? My little woodpecker sees so much from his little tree. Don't know if you can see him. Can you see him okay? Yeah, I'm not sharing, so hopefully you can see him. I wonder what he's seen from his tree today. Have a listen and you can clap back what my woodpecker says. Well, I'm going to help him with the words because my woodpecker just taps the tree. That's all he does. I'll help him with the words. It's a sunny day today. It's a sunny day today. Yeah, oh, Maria's been like the woodpecker. She's tapping like that. I love it, Maria. I like the woodpecker tapping. I can see a play park. I can see a play park, etc. Why with words? Because the children it'll make more sense to the children if there's text. As they grow, of course, you can just repeat what the woodpecker did. I don't know what that sounds like on Zoom because Zoom doesn't really like sharp sounds. You can hear it okay, perfect. Or that thing that we do with children, what rhyme is the woodpecker saying? Remember, the woodpecker can't say words. He can only tap. What rhyme is in his head? Have a listen and see if you recognise it. Etc. I went up the apple tree. I can't do that game really with you because you don't know all the rhymes that I would know. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just using the same one. Obviously, you would change it and shake it up if you're doing that with children. Yeah. My desk always starts off neat and tidy, and by the time I get to this point, everything's just put wherever. Using a fairy tale book as inspiration, a picture book as inspiration, I think is good for this kind of clapping activity as well. I'm just sharing my screen again so you can see. This is Cinderella by Nick Sherratt. And Cinderella is this, just one page I've taken from the book, when the fairy godmother's trying to find the things for the carriage. What could we clap from the pictures? We would always make it a 4-beat pattern. We would create a 4-beat pattern. 4 beats is the most common pattern for children, isn't it? A 4-beat pattern. Most of our rhymes and songs are in 4 beats. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Ring a roses. 4-beat patterning, very common. So when we do create those little patterns, make sure they're 4 beats. What could we be looking at? We're reading a book with children. We clap something from the pictures. It highlights to the children something important, just the same way as I did with Handa, where I sang something. Who stole the banana? The children sing, Monkey stole the banana. I'm highlighting something important in the picture book that if the children miss, they miss the whole point of the story. Yeah? Because if they don't see that monkey's stealing the banana, the story's kind of lost. So in the same way, when we're doing the rhythm thing, we're clapping something, could be hand to surprise. Who stole the banana? We could do it rhythmically as well. Heather's put something in there. Fairy wearing glasses. And what would we do on that rest beat? Fairy wearing glasses. Put your glasses on then on that rest beat, yeah? To make it a 4-beat pattern. Could we do fairies wearing glasses? We could, but natural language would probably be fairies wearing glasses. The fairies wearing glasses. That would be natural language, wouldn't it? Rather than fairies wearing glasses. So make it natural and do something in the rest. Great. Thank you for putting something in there, Heather. That's brilliant. And eventually the children will start to put things in there as well, which is really exciting. Okay, speaking, singing. I talked earlier about doing rhymes and the importance of doing rhymes for using the voice to speak. Yeah, just explaining that to children constantly. We're going to say a rhyme. We're going to sing a song. Just always throw that in. If we can find rhymes and songs that couple together thematically, then that's even better. I'm just asking, who's seen my magic box already? The magic is about to begin. Megan has. Don't tell them, Megan. Don't tell them. Mouse on your head. Oh, shall we sing it or say it? Do you mean when we're doing the fairy tale thing, Helen? If we're working on rhythm, I would just say it. Yeah? Mouse on your head. Oh! Yeah? Like that. If I'm specifically working on rhythm, I would say it. Because the melody just adds another dimension. Good question, Helen. I'm going to stop sharing this so that you can see my magic box. We've all got a little caterpillar in our hand, haven't we? I can see mine crawling around. Can you make yours crawl around just like mine? Caterpillar on the ground. Caterpillar crawl around. Hide away in your cocoon. Don't forget to come back soon. How does the caterpillar come back though? As a butterfly, you are right. Do you know, my caterpillar has gone into his cocoon and he's hidden away and we can't see him anywhere. Maybe, Helen Pritchard, if you were just to say that rhyme again, don't worry, I'm not going to make you say it, and tap the beat on my magic box, Maybe the magic would work. Will we try? Helen, can you tap the beat on my box? I'll help you in Scotland. Here we go. A caterpillar on the ground. Caterpillar crawl around. Hide away in your cocoon. Don't forget to come back soon. That was so well done, Helen. I think the magic will have worked. I think the caterpillar will have turned into a beautiful butterfly. Wow, Helen. Well done. He's a beautiful butterfly. Here comes the butterfly. Flutter, flutter, butterfly. Flutter off into the sky. Flutter high, flutter low. Wave to me before you go. Bye, bye, butterfly. Well, we put him back in his little cocoon. He's tired with all that flying. We'll hide him away for another day. Where's he gone? We'll just have to accept that magic works, won't we? So, of course, we could keep the beat on the thing, but we could use it as an excuse to practice rhythm. Caterpillar. So, when I talked about we don't do one concept, then another, of course, music's multidimensional. We layer all these concepts. We're talking here about saying a rhyme, singing a song, but at the same time, we're practicing beat and practicing rhythm. That will never end. We'll practice it for the rest of our life. Yeah, but right now I'm looking at the voice that speaks and the voice that sings. Melodious speech, I think, is a great way to practice. It's a kind of in-between speaking voice, singing voice. Up like a rocket, down like the rain, back and forward like a choo-choo train. That playing with your voice just to help children, encourage them to find what their voice can melodically do. Not quite singing, but it's playing and accessing voice. Pitch matching. What does that mean to a child? Sing where I sing, sing at my pitch. Really difficult concept for children to understand. I think to begin with, for me, it's like an echo, or make your voice sound like mine is a confusing thing to a child, because my voice is my voice, your voice is your voice, and they're all very different. Be my echo is a nice thing to do. And Yoo-hoo is my little friend who likes to be an echo. He likes to match everybody's pitch. I think some of you have met Yoo-hoo before, but he's got big blue eyes for a reason, because he likes to see who needs help. Who needs help to be an echo. And he is called Yoo-hoo for a reason, isn't he? Because how do we sing that thing? Yoo-hoo! It's that falling minor third. Yoo-hoo! And children, I hate to tell you, are much more interested in Yoo-hoo than they are in me. They will be much more interested in any puppet or something you bring out rather than just you. It's a more playful thing, isn't it? So because of that falling minor third thing, children can imitate and be an echo. Here's a little book called Yoo-hoo and the Ladybird. I've put it here because it's too difficult to see. I've only copied a few of the pages. So Ladybug loves to hide. We need to see if we can find them. And I would invite a child to sing, Yoo-hoo, Ladybug. And then everyone answers, where are you? So we match the child rather than the child matches us. So if the child's going, Yoo-hoo, Ladybug, guess what we do? We match the child. What if the child doesn't sing at all? Yoo-hoo, Ladybug. Yep, we're going to match the child. We're going to say, Yoo-hoo, Ladybug. But maybe just make a point. Oh, Laura chose her speaking voice today. We all matched We were all an echo. We matched Laura. Can you find Ladybug? He's there somewhere on the page. Bit hard to find. I thought it was here, but it was just a red dice.
Lucinda, we can't see the page.
Oh, forgot to share. That's the problem when I stop sharing, I forget to share again. There we go. Can you find Ladybug? Thanks, Megan. Everybody's going, where is he? He's not there. Maybe if I make it bigger. Can we find him? Can't do that with a real picture book. Let's make it bigger. Give me a thumbs up if you've spotted him. Yes, some people have spotted him. There he is, afloat in the bath with Duck and Giraffe. So he's on every single page and all the children are desperate to find him. But what are we using the book for? Pitch matching. Yeah? Helping the children understand that voice that is an echo. It matches. That leads us kind of to higher and lower, but that's a really difficult one, higher and lower, isn't it? Such an abstract thing for children to understand, higher and lower. Oh, I'll make that smaller again. It's experiential because it's difficult to grasp. It'll be experiential for quite some time. But some songs help the children hear, see, feel higher and lower, rather than just hear. Some children and some adults, I hate to tell you as well, find it difficult to hear the higher and the lower pitch. Yeah? They think they're the same. Some adults really struggle with that thing. So this little song here, which I usually play with older children as a match the melodic shape. It's a clapping game. With the younger children, I don't do it as a clapping game because it's quite a difficult coordination. I do it as a toss the teddy in the air thing. And Yoo-hoo is going on, I hope you can see this okay, he's going on my stretchy blanket. Yeah, and my piano has a different use. The music stand is holding the lycra. I wish you were all here to gather around the lycra, but Yoo-hoo's going on the lycra. And we can make Yoo-hoo go high. We can make him go low. And we can make him go side to side. Chica. So he's going to go, I'll stop sharing so you can see hopefully clearer. High, low, chica, low, chica, low, chica, low, high, low, chica, low, chica, low. But at the end, he gets to blast into outer space. High! Where did he go? He's jumped away over there to the other side of the room. So the physical thing of making the stretchy blanket go high and low. The words, the language is actually high-low. They're seeing high-low, they're feeling high-low, but they still have the punchline at the end where they get to toss that teddy in the air. Because let's face it, if you were gathered round that lycra, you would want to do the same, wouldn't you? Even as an adult. Whee-oo! In fact, adults are the worst. Or the best. Because there's a child in every one of us. Okay, so here's a little dance that I want us to do. I want to pick some apples from the tree to make an apple pie. I must be in an apple kind of mood today, I don't know. But the music is going to tell you when the apples fall out of the tree. You'll have to listen really carefully because you'll hear the music go, yomp. And when it goes, yomp, that's when it's fallen out of the tree. So listen really carefully. Copy me. Can you hear? Can you hear okay? Just give me a thumbs up if you hear. You can. Here we go. only got one. Here goes. 1, 2. Oh, only 2. I'm going to try and trick you this time. I might move when the apples haven't fallen. Don't copy me, listen. Oh, well done, you got it. I didn't hear it. And so on and so on and so on. So you're forcing the children to really listen to the music. Try and trick them. Don't move, or move when you shouldn't move. Make them listen. So extreme high and low, really. Those concept pairs are quite challenging, but that's the most challenging concept pair. Other concept pairs we do: louder, quieter, faster, slower, longer, shorter is another one. I'm just going to share again now. Here's a little rhyme here that could almost be used for anything. Dynamics, tempo and pitch. How might we say it? Could be lower, higher. I'm a big, brave lion. I'm a little pussy cat. I'm a tiny little mouse and I run like that. Could be louder and quieter. Did I say louder and quieter before? Higher and lower is what I meant there. Louder and quieter. I'm a big, brave lion. I'm a little pussy cat. I'm a tiny little mouse and I run like that. So we could use it for dynamic. We could use it for longer, shorter, but I'll show you how I would use that in a minute. At the moment, I've got right in front of me on my desk 2 little mice. They're not real mice, so don't run away. They're not real mice. They're not scary mice at all. But some of them go for quite a long time and some of them go very short. So at the end of my rhyme, when you see my little mice run, you've got to go eek for all the time he runs. But if he only runs a short time, you go eek. Do you want to see my little mice? Let's see. One of them runs so fast I just know he's going to run right off my desk. Can you see him, an orange mouse? Sitting right there. And there's a blue mouse. Wonder which one's going to go for a long time and which is going to go. So at the end, you have to make the wee eek sound for as long as he runs. Here goes. I'm a big, brave lion. I'm a little pussy cat. I'm a tiny little mouse and I run like that. You ready? Eek. Oh, you didn't get very far, little mouse. Wonder how far this one will get. I'd say the rhyme again. I'm just cutting time. And I run like that. Whoops. Eek. Did you keep going? Did you keep saying it? He didn't get as far as the blue mouse. Oh no! Blue mouse, you're letting me down. You're normally the fast one. Are you ready? He can go for longer. Yeah, he's right off the table. So the children love just vocalising at the end, longer, shorter. So there's a little rhyme that you could use for different things. Am I saying do all those different things in one day? No, please don't. Yeah? Focus on one concept pair. Maybe one day you're doing louder, quieter. On a different day, you're doing higher, lower. Because otherwise children will get those things muddled. And children tend to say, it was faster and louder. Yeah, that's a kind of muddle in their head. So keep those concept pairs very clear in your own head. Big brave pussy, I run like that. What about louder, quieter? I'm just going to share a tiny bit of this with you. You'll get the idea of this book. The Lion Inside. Is it known to people already, The Lion Inside? Nope. In a dry dusty place where the sand sparkled gold stood a mighty flat rock, all craggy and old. And under that rock, in a tiny full house, lived the littlest, quietest, meekest brown mouse. He was so very tiny, so incredibly small, that nobody noticed him ever at all. He got trod on and sat on and missed out for stuff long and forgotten. Yes, mouse life was tough. Meanwhile, far away on top of the rock, times were quite different. It was Lion O'Clock, the huge toothsome creature, and made sure everyone saw how important he was by how loud he could roar. So basically we've got a quiet mouse who's very, very quiet, a loud lion, and the little mouse just wants to be like the lion. He needs to find his roar. And he decided one day that he needed to go and speak to the lion to learn how to roar. I'm cutting this very quickly, as you can tell. So he came nose to nose with the lion. There he is up at the top of the rock. And he was very quiet. Excuse me, Mr. Lion. Wake up, Mr. Lion. I need you to teach me how to roar. And when the lion saw, he was so scared and he went, eek! Because he's quite scared of little mice. And the moral of the story really is they became best friends, as all fairy tales do. And he teaches the lion that you can have a louder voice. It's all how you feel inside, being brave. So now the lion roars, and a different roar, ha 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 ha, because he's made a best friend. And the mouse learns that you don't need to shout, but you can have as loud a voice as you want to have. Which is why when we're doing these little rhymes, like I know that the lion in that story knows a rhyme that we know. And sorry, I am completely boring you with apple tree, but I just don't want to teach you a pile of rhymes. How is the lion going to say that rhyme, I wonder? He's going to say it like this. I went up the apple tree, all the apples fell on me. How's Mouse going to say it? Apple pudding, apple pie, did you ever tell a lie? So who's saying the rhyme, children? They're behind my back. I went up the apple tree. You're right, the lion. But do you know what? Sometimes the lion can speak in a very quiet voice and the mouse can speak in a louder voice. I went up the apple tree. All the apples fell on me. Apple pudding. Because we want children to understand it's how we use our voice. Yeah? We have a quieter voice, a louder voice. The lion has a louder, a quieter. The mouse has a... And similarly, if you're using it for higher, lower. Can the lion have a higher voice? Of course he can. It's how we use our voice. So using puppets as a guessing, as a which voice is it now, is a really useful little thing to do. 2 little finger puppets. I'll just share again before I forget. So there's our concept pairs over here. I would always say them as a comparison, higher, lower, because we present them as a comparative thing. So not high, low, because how high is high? How low is low? Well, it depends. So always show that as a comparison. See how many things we're building up. How smart are we, by the way, as music teachers? Yeah, and people say in early years, we just sing some songs. No, we don't. Faster, slower. Here's a little horse going off to market. Yeah, and he gets faster because he wants to be home in time for tea. Clip, clop, off to market, never stop. We'll be fast as we can be and be home in time for tea. Clip, clop, home from market never stop. But we're not home yet. We'll need to go a whole lot faster, won't we? And could we have a horse on the lycra now? And doing the thing with, of course we could, yeah? Clip, clop, off to market never stop. Can children sing that fast though? You'll probably be the one who's doing the singing. It doesn't matter. It's just to help them experience faster and slower. So they will be able to tell you, and I know I said don't name concepts at this age, but they understand faster, slower. They'll be able to tell you it was faster, it was slower, but they won't be able to keep a beat in that tempo. That's the big difference. They can't physically do that thing yet. Clip, clop, off the market never stop. Yeah, it's difficult to actually do that well and in time. But they're experiencing it from us. I'm not going to read it to you, but I'm just saying there is a brilliant book called Clip, Clop, about animals who want to go on the horse's back for a ride, and they ask him to go faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And then, of course, he comes to a stop and they go flying through the air and land in a haystack. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But what do the animals say when they get up? Again! Because it was great fun. So really nice little book to tie in with faster and slower. What about timbre and texture? That kind of thing we talked about. We've kind of done it already, haven't we? We did the thing where a robber steals the instrument. You had to recognise the instruments earlier. A robber steals the instruments away. Who's playing the instruments? Can they guess by the timbre? But of course, it could be voices as well. So I've said here instrumental, but it could easily be voices. Who's going to be the squeaky mouse voice at the end, I wonder? Yeah, I'm not going to pick on anybody, don't worry. Here sits a mousie in his little housey. No one comes to see him, poor little mousie. There's a guesser in the middle, and I give the little mousie to Megan. And Megan then has to squeak like the little mouse. So she can do as playful as she wants. It's not a pitch matching, it's make the mousey sound. Yeah? Why am I giving the puppet? Can I not just say, Megan, can you be a mouse? Well, actually, the puppet's something to hide behind. There's a security here for young children that I've got the mouse. It's like a little security blanket. I'm safe to do this thing. It's not me. I'm doing the voice for him. Yeah? Whereas, can you be a mouse? I feel very vulnerable. Yeah? So giving them the little puppet is something to hide behind. It's like a security blanket for children. Children are very good at recognising other children's voices. I don't know what you find, but I find they're much better at it than I am. And sometimes we do it singing, sometimes we do it just vocal play, but children are fabulous at that recognition. How do they recognise? Partly by direction, but partly by timbre. The colour and quality of somebody's voice. And I don't mean quality, you're a brilliant singer, you're not. I don't mean that. The quality of the sound, the colour of the sound. That's timbre. What did we do earlier as well? Texture. When somebody guessed the instrument, and we can do the same here, plays the one instrument, then we add another instrument. We've got singing, we've got solo singing, we've got accompanied singing with one instrument, accompanied by two instruments, layering sound. So texture has been added into the mix now. Phrasing and structure. It's an interesting one, phrasing and structure, because children tend to feel phrasing from the way we sing. We sing naturally in phrases. I should be going that way because I'm reverse. We take a breath at the end of a phrase. We do that naturally. What will children then do? They'll copy us, won't they? They'll sing the way we sing. I told one of the classes that I had, Maria's class, about a research that I read recently where people, mothers particularly, were asked when they're singing a lullaby at night to their children, could they do it with the wrong phrasing? And it was an experiment just to see how did the babies react. Not easy to do. So they would sing Twinkle Twinkle and they would do something like Twinkle Twinkle little star, how I wonder what you are up above the world. So high like a... Mad, isn't it? What happened to the babies? They became agitated. They started to cry. They didn't feel that musical balance that gives them the security of a lullaby. What's the thing that babies respond to in a lullaby? The singing voice, obviously, and the regularity of the phrasing. Yeah, they can feel it even when they're young. So that copying us by imitation and feeling tends to stem from us, that phrasing thing. Here's a little rhyme that I want us to do. Children know about beat now, of course. So here's a little rhyme that kind of helps them with the colours of the rainbow. Yeah, we've got, here's our first line. Red and orange, yellow and green. Nicest colours ever seen. Blue and violet, yeah it is. Blue and violet, indigo too. Colours of the rainbow just for you. So we're actually now beginning to show children visibly, making a visual thing of 4 beats in a line. Yeah. What are we looking at? We're really looking at 4 bars of 4 metre. We are absolutely not telling children that at all. Yeah. But that's what we're looking at. We can give them on a little bit of paper 4 spots. They can point with their magic finger. They can point to the things they see on the screen. Yeah. I've made them this colour just because this kind of age colour recognition is a big thing. Could you make them all the same colour? You could, but if we want them to learn the colours of the rainbow, why not make them rainbow coloured? Yeah. That rainbow song, red and yellow and pink and blue, it always annoys me because they're not in the right order. Yeah. Should we not teach children things in the right order? It's easier to remember, I think. Yeah. So, simple little rhyme. How many lines were there? There were 4 lines in our rhyme. What was the text? Can they now draw their rainbows? Red and orange, yellow and green. Nicest colours ever seen. Blue and violet, indigo too. Colours of the rainbow just for you. So they're beginning to literally feel musical phrasing. And how would that look when you show them the sign of a phrase? Exactly what they're drawing. So rainbow phrasing, kind of a nice way to think about it. I've put that there, that little rhyme there. I just made it up, but feel free to use it if you want to use it. So I don't think any of us would deny that here's all our musical things, but here's all the blue other things that are happening, just like we said at the start. What is music doing for children? Fundamentally, all these musical foundations happening, but as a byproduct, and I'm being very clear to say as a byproduct, all those other things are happening as well. I'm not teaching music so that it'll help children's language. That's not why I'm teaching music. Why am I teaching music? For the children, for the children's enjoyment, for their soul, for the sake of music. I'm not teaching music because of that. But I'm not denying to you that it's a byproduct of teaching music, and we should celebrate that byproduct. But don't compromise what is our subject in order to use it to do something else, if that makes sense. Does any other subject do all of that? I would love to say no, but I would say maybe the arts in general, drama, art, visual arts, maybe the arts in general do, but music certainly does. Yeah, just that sheer coordination of this. Finger play, I didn't mention today, but finger play, really useful for finger coordination. And I was absolutely astounded that an instrumental teacher said to me, "Oh, these little rhymes are just fun, but they're nothing to do with me." And I think you'll find you're a piano teacher. Really? Nothing to do with you? I think it's got a lot to do with you. Take those things seriously. They're there for a reason, all that coordination. We have a few minutes for questions. I'm stopping sharing, but I've also got a listening thing to do should there be no questions. So, questions? Megan, have I missed any as I've gone? Nope. So if anyone has a question now, either put it in chat or can they unmute?
I think so, because when I tried to mute everybody, I muted you as well. So I've just been muting individually if people have happened to unmute accidentally. So I'm hoping you can unmute.
Okay, if anybody wants to unmute and ask a question, please do.
If you find you can't, put it in the chat and we'll grab it from there.
And if you haven't got the question, I've got another little nighttime listening activity that Maria has already done. Sorry, Maria.
Just one question. Hi, Lucinda. Lovely to see
Hi.
you again.
And you, Helen.
Yeah, back at the one about up and down over the hills and into town with the circle formation, is the child in the middle and has to get out once, or are they going in and out?
In and out and in and out, but they have to
Right.
be out by the end. So that's the kind of catch, because they'll go in and out and in and out and they'll forget that they have to be out at the end. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank
So
you.
they can be in or out, but they're going to and fro, and they can cut across, they can do whatever. Yeah, go anywhere. But they must be out by the end.
Thank you.
No other questions?
Stunned silence, Lucinda.
Stunned silence.
Hello, could I ask something, please?
Yeah?
Hi. I just want to ask about the comparisons with the louder and quieter. I often use the word softer with my children. Is there a
Very
reason
good
that you
question.
choose quieter rather than softer?
Very good question, Kirsten, because musically it is louder and softer. Musically. I choose quieter with the younger age because it's more relevant to what they understand by the word. So, for example, we would never say to children, sit softly and listen to my story. Sit quietly and listen to my story. Soft to children is a tactile thing. My jumper feels soft. So, because it's an exact, understandable thing for the younger children, I choose quieter for younger. And then later I say the musical term is softer. Yeah. Not wrong. It's just my choice. Louder, quieter. But that's why. Did I detect a Scottish voice there?
Yes, you do. We have met before, but many, many years ago in Edinburgh on a course.
Wow. Where are you living now in New Zealand?
I'm in Auckland now.
Auckland. Oh, these Scots are going over to New Zealand by the bucket load, Megan, and maybe I'll join them.
Feel free to join us.
Okay, then are you ready for a little lullaby nighttime story called Snail Trail? Can you suffer it again, Maria? You can. Poor Maria heard this just last week. I hope you can hear my music as well. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear this. It's just about to come. Very quiet. Can you hear it? Nope. I'll share sound. Oh, somebody's saying they can hear it now. You can hear it now? I'll just share computer sound. Might make it a bit easier to hear. All good? Slimy snail set out on a trail one bright and sunny morning. He went up a hill. It was very steep. He went through a tunnel, very gloomy. Into a forest, very quiet. Over a bridge, very high. Down a slope, very slippery. Up to an arch, very narrow. Not sure he's going to get through. That shell on his back. Past some flowers. Very pretty. He curled up in his shell. Very small. I think he's gone to sleep. And if you can see his slimy trail, you'll see that it wasn't really a very high hill at all. There was his high hill. It was just an old gardening glove. And there's the dark tunnel. It was just a flower pot. Here's the forest that was very quiet. And then up over a bridge which was very high. It was the handle of an old basket. Down the slippery slide, which was a trowel. Whee! Into the arches. And the arches was just a garden fork. Then he slithered round to the beautiful flowers. Oh, they weren't flowers at all, they were just seeds in a packet. Then he slid round into the other gardening glove, where he curled up and fell fast asleep. There's your nighttime bedtime story, children. That was Snail Trail.
What an absolute treat. Thank you so much, Lucinda. I've just put a wee message in the chat, but I was holding my finger over the send because I didn't want to disturb the story and have you distracted from listening and engaging with that beautiful kind of oral space. But in the little message in the chat, I've just said, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I've also put a little link. One of the things that's really important with funding that we get from the ministry as the Subject Association for Music in Aotearoa is being able to feed back to them the kind of things that you would find useful to help you, and the number of people who've engaged with the opportunities that we've offered. So if you could just take, before you leave the Zoom, if you could copy that little link, if you could just take a minute to give us some feedback, that would be really, really valuable. But now that I've kind of put that little thing out there and you can deal with that, I do want to say a huge thank you, Lucinda. Lucinda says to me, oh, I can't believe you're hearing it again. Oh, I'm sorry. And you've heard her say to Maria, oh, can you bear to hear it again? I could listen to you 100 times over, and every time there's some new puppet or some new book, another new book where I'm going, oh, I like that one. I'll have to write that one down too. Another new magic box, another new game, another new rhyme. It's just endless. And Lucinda, I'm totally in awe of just the amount of material you must keep in that brain of yours. And when I grow up, I want to be just like you. So thank you so much for joining us from Scotland. Thank you for your early morning start. And thank you for what you have contributed to the musical and professional lives of the people who are here, the people who I know will watch the recording, and also by extension all of the little people that each of us comes in contact with. And it was just delightful to have people putting into the chat that their children were in the background singing along and playing the games, and cats too. I don't want to go to bed. There's much too much excitement going on the computer, when usually it's just dumb meetings that are on the computer, Kat? Nothing exciting like this. So thank you so much for everything that you have added this evening to our learning and our own sort of musical growth. And if you are not a member of Mensa, it would be great to have you on board, but there are ways that you can keep in touch with us through the website and also through the Facebook page. So if something that Lucinda has done tonight has sparked your interest, or has confused you, or has delighted you, it would be great to hear from you. I've also put my email into the chat, so if there's anything that any of you want to follow up, please feel free to get in touch with me. And I'd like to invite you to unmute everybody and say a huge thank you, and well, good night for us, good evening for those of you from Australia, and good morning to Lucinda. Thank you so much, Lucinda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Again,
much.
again.
Thanks,
you.
Megan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely.